Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. If you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button because I'll be honored to have you here. Today we're gonna jump into another GTO trainer session. This is a series where we play GTO spots on the WPT GTO trainer, and today we're playing the MP2 Open versus Button Call. This is a tournament spot on 50 big blind stacks, so let's jump right into it. On the first hand, we have ace queen off on a 9 king tray. I think we're gonna bet a third of the pot here. The solver agrees, the villain folds. Cool. A7 suited on a deuce king 10, again is a third of the pot. Bet, played 60% of the time. We get called. There's an 8 of clubs on the turn, and we're going to check now. Yeah, the solver would do that 99.97% of the time. The villain bets 8 BBs, and we fold our A7. Yep. Ace queen off on a king 10 6. Maybe we check this time. The ideal action would actually be betting 2/3 of the pot. We can see the solver doing this 50% of the time almost. Checking is fine, play 21%, and betting a third of the pot is another 28% or so. We have a queen on the turn. And do we bet now? I think we should. But how much to bet? Maybe we're gonna check. Yeah, check is played 48% of the time. I wonder if this is a bet 2/3 of the pot type of spot or bet a quarter. Now we're going to bet, just don't bet it. Actually, the solver disagrees. Solver recognizes this as a good overbet spot and does it 74% of the time. The donk bet is just less than 3% of the strategy, but as we can see, it's pretty much similar EV wise. Yeah, so probably like 22 or something percent. The solver bets 2/3 of the pot. Cool. King jack off on an ace queen 6 with 2 hearts. I think we're going to bet 2.5 here. We get raised. Do we call? I don't think we call this ever. It's either a fold or raise. Probably very rare raise. But we're gonna fold. I wonder how often the solver raises, and it's just probably like 1%. Cool. Ace deuce of spades on a deuce 10 queen. I think we bet 2.5 here. Yeah, the villain folds. Now we've got ace king off on a 10 7 queen with 2 diamonds. We're gonna bet 2.5 here. It's a good spot to bet 2/3 of the pot. There's an ace on the turn. We're going to bet 8 now. Should rather check it 80% of the time. You can see it's a small loss, but the solver almost never plays it like that. So I guess it's probably mostly a bet third of the pot, I think. Don't know. Now we're gonna check on the deuce on the river. Not gonna know what happens here because yeah, the solver didn't calculate this because it was such a low frequency play, but nonetheless we win the pot, so that's cool. Pocket threes on a 9 jack 5. Is this a bet 5.5? Nope. Should rather be just a check 96% of the time. As we can see, the EV loss is small, but the solver almost never does it here. So I'm gonna check now on the ace. And we're gonna check again on the 4 of clubs on the river. Yeah, we're giving up on this hand. Pocket 8s on 6-5 queen with 2 diamonds. We're gonna bet 2.5. It's fine either way. There's a 9 of hearts on the turn. And I think we are going to check again. 91% of the time the solver checks here with pocket 8s. And we've got a king on the river. And maybe we're donk betting here. Yep. I'm getting better at donk bets, so I really like it. But unfortunately we lose to a 10-9. Pocket 3s on a king 10-9. We're gonna check it. It's a bet 2.5. Surprisingly now. We just had, I think, a pretty similar spot with pocket 3s. We bet 5.5. It was a rare play, and now betting 2/3 would be like 40% of the strategy. Really need to get those spots with low pocket pairs better, but we're checking it here on the 7 of diamonds. Again, the solver would like a bet. And now we're gonna check for the 3rd time. And again, the ideal action would be betting, but yeah, it's not bad. As we could see, it was fine. And yeah, we can see that the villain had us all the way. King jack off on a 7-6. This is a check. And call, I think. It's actually a fold, 96% of the time. But the solver sometimes calls it here. But now we got a fold. Ace king off on an ace 4 jack. We're going to bet 2.5. Villain folds. Ace king off on a 4-6-8. We're going to check. And call. Yep. Deuce of clubs on the turn. We're gonna check again. And fold. Nine jack of diamonds on a 9 ace 5. This is a bet 2.5 or a check. We hit our 9 on the turn. I think we bet 8 here. Actually, the solver prefers overbetting and does it 77% of the time. This is good to know. What do we do now? We shove, I think. Yep. And we get called by the same hand. Cool. 4-3 on the 5-7 deuce. We bet 2.5. Betting 5.5 is the ideal action. Played 62% of the time. But our play was also fine. But just 15% of the strategy. Now on the 7 of diamonds, I think maybe this is a spot where we overbet. Nope. It's small EV loss, but just 0.5% of the strategy. Looks like the solver prefers donk betting here, betting a third of the pot. 66% of the time. This is a nice spot. Queen jack off on an ace 5-5. We're betting 2.5 or 5.5. Deuce of hearts on the turn. I'm gonna check. The solver does some betting here, as we can see. Six of hearts on the river. I think we donk bet it. Nope, it's not a donk bet. It's just a check. Okay. Ace 10 suited on a queen 4-6. Bet 2.5. Okay, the solver prefers checking here almost 76% of the time, which is interesting. We're gonna check on another queen. Solver also likes to bet here, almost 40% of the time. I think we check here, right? Yep. We lose to pocket threes. King queen suited on an ace jack 3 with 2 diamonds. This is maybe a bet 5.5. It is not, just 1% of the strategy. Yeah, the solver actually really likes checking the flush draws on the flop. I need to try playing like that more. We have another jack on the turn. We're gonna check. The solver agrees. Villain checks behind, and we have a 9 on the river. I think we check again here. Yeah. And are we calling? I think we're calling. No, we should rather be folding 99.95% of the time. And calling here is not the biggest EV loss, but it is a substantial EV loss. Yeah, probably because we have the flush draw. Okay. Ace 10 off on a 6 jack 10. We're betting 2.5 or checking. We get raised. We're gonna call it off. Could have also folded, and the solver would fold here almost always. We're checking on the 5 of hearts. Villain checks behind. We have a queen of clubs on the river. And do we pull the trigger now? I think not. I think we check it here. And I think we fold. Yeah. 8-7 of spades on a 9 tray 5. We're gonna bet 2.5. The solver likes playing 5.5 here, as we can see. But we get raised, and I think we fold. Surprisingly, the solver likes to call it here, almost 95% of the time. Folding is, yeah, some EV loss, but just 4% of the strategy. Ace 5 off on an ace deuce 9. We're betting a third of the pot. You get raised. We call. 6 of diamonds on the turn. I'm gonna check. Maybe my internet went down. Nope. My internet is fine. The session bugged out. Oh, it clicked. Yeah, so we checked. The villain bets a third of the pot. I think we call this here again with our ace 5. should fold 60% of the time, call 40%. Calling is a bit of EV loss. We're gonna check again. And unfortunately we lose to a better ace. Pocket kings on a 6 jack 7. We're betting 2.5. Betting 2/3 of the pot is a better alternative. Played 70% of the time. On a 5 of diamonds, we're gonna bet 8. That's the ideal action. Played 55% of the time. Get called. And on the river we have the board pairing with a 7. And I think we're going to bet 2/3 of the pot. Solver prefers shoving 60% of the time, or either donk betting or checking, because we can see 2/3 of the pot bet is just 1.5% of the strategy. 9 jack of diamonds on a 4 trade deuce. We're checking it and calling. Another 4 on the turn. We're checking again. The solver does almost 50% of betting on this board. We have another deuce of hearts on the river, and I think we're gonna donk bet it here. The solver likes to overbet, and we should probably learn to do that here as well with this kind of hand. I wonder if it gets him off the ace. But yeah. King jack off on a 9-8 king. We're betting 1/3 of the pot. Villain calls. Deuce of diamonds on the turn. We're betting 2/3 of the pot. Here the solver likes checking 44% of the time, or over betting, or probably betting 1/3 of the pot. What do we do on the 9 of hearts here? I think we check. Yeah, it's a donk bet. Cool. Yeah, we need to nail those donk bets. But checking is fine, but only 12% of the strategy. 7-6 of clubs on a queen king jack. I think this is a check. Villain checks as well. Now we pick up some equity. Maybe we're gonna try and overbet it. It's a good play. No EV loss almost, but just 5% of the strategy. Checking is the ideal action, played 17% of the time. So I'm thinking it's either 1/3 of the pot or 2/3 of the pot bet is the most frequent play. I wonder which one of these. Probably 2/3, right? Let's go to the next one. 10 jack of hearts on a 10-7-8. Maybe it's a board that we check. It is. Villain checks behind. There's another 7 on the turn. We're gonna bet 2/3 now. Yeah, the solver likes this line. Perfect, we've played our 25 hands for the day. Let's exit the session and see our stats. Overall EV loss is -21 BBs. This is pretty good. Could be better, of course, but as we can see, our frequencies have been quite fine. We are still betting or raising more, but not that much. Yeah, we're not falling that often. But yeah, we've had this spot over minus 1 BB of EV loss, and other than that, just some smaller mistakes. But yeah, pretty much a nice session. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a comment below with GTO. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. And if you want to check out the GTO trainer, just check out the link in the description of this video. And yeah, it's a pretty cool tool. We've played 500 hands of one spot, and now we're, I think, almost at the 400 hands mark of this tournament, MP2 Open versus Button Call spot. So yeah, it's going pretty well. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Do you want to learn how to play PLO? Are you a beginner player who's never played Omaha before? Do you want to learn how to crush casual players easily? If so, this course is perfect for you. It's a crash course on Pot Limit Omaha dedicated for beginner players. You will learn all the fundamentals of PLO. You will learn what hands to play, when to play them, and how to play them. You will learn the basic strategies that allow you to be a winning player at your home games or microstakes online. If you want to learn PLO quickly and easily, get this course now at gokupoker.com.